Good morning from the sunny beaches of Thailand. Technically it's actually midday now, but it's still absolutely beautiful. See the islands and see everything going on. Happy days. Now this video is genuinely about projects, because having invested in property for the better part of nearly a decade now, I see trends with people, and I see trends with how people approach property investing and risk appetites, capital budgets, exit plans. And what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people tend to see this golden egg with property, and it's not how it works at all. Property is genuinely about accumulation from a long-term point of view. So if you're accumulating a portfolio, it's genuinely about having the equity in the asset in the right location to have the appreciation, rather than looking for this golden deal all the time. Because the problem that I find is that people have X amount of capital and they want to maximize their returns. The reality is the only way to truly get the returns is to own the asset. And that's the blunt way to look at this. Sorry, it's a bit sad. The only way to truly get the benefits of returns, because appreciation of equity, if you own the asset, you've got equity in it, the appreciation of that equity is a tenfold return rather than the cash flow. The cash flow of property is like an added benefit. It's a cash flowing business, so therefore cash flow is important. But the true ROI on property is having the right property in the right location for it to appreciate. That's why we target South Wales so much. That's literally the reason for me investing for nearly 10 years now in South Wales, and why we help other people build property portfolios in South Wales, because I think we've had about 20% appreciation in the last 3 years there. Oh, camera's gone weird. We've had about 20% appreciation in the last 3 years, and I think we're expecting about 25% in the next 5 years. So from a no-brainer point of view, if you own equity in a portfolio that has those locations, that you own the equity, your returns of cash flow are going to be, let's say, 9%. But the returns on appreciation of 20% next 5 years on top of that is why we do property. So don't have a short-term metric mindset of property, guys. I assure you, the best developers I know buy on scale. And yes, they have offers that kind of can, be, I know some developers, even not myself, like if I see a property, I'm going to be looking for a great deal. But it's not about overthinking it. It's about keeping it simple, to be like, what is the game plan here? You're here, you want to get to here. What is the game plan to get you there? And how does that work? So really factor in your exit, and don't have a short-term metric with this. It will hold you back. And it's one of the biggest things I've learned from working with developers the past 10 years, well, 5+ years, let's say, having invested myself for that period. It's genuinely a case of not having the perfect deal. It's about genuinely, you want a project to be probably 80% what you need it to be. When I say need it to be, so if you've got, 120k for example, and you want to do a BR project, buy, renovate, refinance, buy something run down, renovate it, refinance, you essentially want it to be hitting about 80% of your criteria, because no project is ever perfect. And what I find personally is that if you've got a mindset where you're looking for a perfect project, you never actually do anything. And I'm sorry to say that, but like I've talked to thousands of investors the past X amount of years, and the ones who are looking for a perfect project, no project is ever perfect. And if you see a perfect project, it's more for social media clicks than it is actually the true reality. Even on a BR project, even on the flip, until you see the sale price on the flip, until you see the refinance value on a BR, until you see the cash flow net figures on the back end, you're not going to know the true return on that investment. And the reality is, it doesn't matter too much, because so long as you have the right property in the right location, the right letting agent to look after it, etc., etc., you are providing the returns you need to own the asset or the equity to accumulate the portfolio, to let it appreciate, let it grow. Because the true growth is in the appreciation from holding a long-term asset like bricks and mortar. So just to be aware of that, guys, there is no perfect deal. It's having done this for a long time. It's not about waiting for this golden nugget. Yes, if you have a limited capital, you want to be a bit, you may naturally be a bit more cautious with it. That's understandable, but not to the point of holding yourself back. So one of the key reasons people work with us, for context, is we sit down with them and be like, okay, if you have, let's say, 50k capital, you want to do a buy-to-let portfolio, have these, well, this is how it works. But you have to be ready to take the leap on it to invest that 50k. We show you how the breakdown works and go from there. They don't have to work with us. This is more generic thoughts. but the point still stands. It's not about us going out and finding this golden unicorn that's got everything good. It's about finding something that's 80 to 90% of what you need to then have a long-term vision in mind, because there's going to be problems. Property is people. So your bricks and mortar, half your return investment of a property, of a buy-to-let, for example, is your yield, which is a tenant basis. So if you have void periods, that's half your returns. That's not a bad thing. That's a case of mitigating the risk at the beginning and having the right location, the right letting agent, the right fundamentals in place to mitigate that risk, to make sure your returns are met, or to a degree. But it's also about scaling the portfolio to make sure that your returns are kept as high as possible, because if you've got 10 properties and you have 1 or 2 void periods, you're mitigating your risk. So, long story short, guys, don't wait for golden unicorns. It's not how it works. And in fact, the best developers I know expect the odd project to go tits up. I'm sorry about swearing a bit tits up, but it's probably a bit rude comment, but like, you could buy a whole portfolio, you will have 1 or 2 problems on it, i.e. 1 or 2 properties may have tenant issues here and there. It's normal, it's expected. It's all about scaling to build it, to scale, to diversify, to diversify your risk profile. So just to know that, guys, hope that helps you. And it's genuinely one of the most unspoken of elements of everything that I hear a lot, that people want this golden unicorn, and there is no such thing. And if you hear such a thing, if you hear the words all money out or all this kind of stuff, it can happen, but it's incredibly rare. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't done this for a long time. If I hear the words all money out on a BR project, I turn the other way. I don't believe it until I see it, until I see the refunds. If it comes in, great. You're talking 1 in 100 projects. The vast reality of projects that we do are like 15k left in as a cash purchase, and that has an 18 to 20% ROI. Where else do you get an 18 to 20% ROI? That's money into money out plus cash flow, right? So if you think about it, if you're making those sort of returns just from something that's got 15k left in, why would you be so desperate to wait 12 months to get this perfect project that doesn't even exist, or may potentially not even turn out to be true? So have a long-term mindset. Take action beats everything. I bought like 6 houses last year because I'm taking action on it. We've had problems, we've had damp issues, we've had this and that. There's no perfect property. These are bricks and mortar. But as soon as it's rented out and cash flowing, then you're gonna be making about 1, 2, 3 grand extra a month coming in, and it's totally worth it. Plus you have the equity of 20k to appreciate in the long run. That's the value of taking action over waiting and being hyper cautious. Hope that helps you. If this helped you at all, give us a follow, give us a subscribe on it, give us a like. If you guys want to see any particular content, then I would recommend just comment what you want to see, and I can make a video on it. No stress at all. Hope everyone has a great day, and I know I will.